Hey guys! Alright, so pretty much in this video I'm going to be talking about why I decided to go natural. As you all may already know, I made a decision to go natural back in March of '09, and then I transitioned for about 18 months, and I finally did my transition chop in October of this year, 2010. So about 18 months, definitely a long time. Okay, so the first thing that got me into natural hair was this forum I came across that talked about black women and self-hate. The first thing that came to mind after, reading the comments on that forum was basically that, none of that was true. I relaxed my hair because it was easier to manage. It's just easier to deal with. That's basically what I was telling myself when I was reading that forum. So after, reading all that stuff on the forum, I really didn't think too much about it. It wasn't until a few months later that I actually started thinking about, going natural. But even though I was thinking about it, I was still getting relaxers. So my last relaxer, I asked the stylist, what I would have to do to go natural, and she basically told me, that I would have to chop all my hair off, which of course scared me so much because, I was the type of person that when I had my relaxer, I really cared about my length. Like, when it would grow longer, I would be so happy. I would get all these compliments. People would ask me, is that all my real hair? And I'd be like, yeah, it is. I was so used to getting that attention because I had, really long, straight hair that I didn't want to cut all my hair off. Before I came across that forum, I never really had to think about why I relaxed my hair, And when I did start to think about it, of course, my number one reason was that, I did it because it was more manageable. But how can you know what's more manageable when you have never had to really manage your natural hair? Another thing, I didn't even know what my natural hair looked like. Like, seriously? Alright, let me tell you how I was thinking. When I first really wanted to go natural, I thought that there might be a product out there that could actually revert your hair back to its natural state so that you wouldn't have to cut it all off. No. There's nothing like that. Also, I didn't even know that black hair had like a curl pattern. So anyway, I finally started doing my research. I came across this video that talked about, what relaxers actually do to your hair, how it really permanently damages the hair follicles. And, all this info I was getting, it just didn't make sense to not go natural, to know that something is damaging your hair and possibly your scalp and not do anything about it. So that's when I finally decided to go natural. Even when I decided to go natural, there was a few reasons why I was scared to go natural. One, I didn't want to have short hair. I thought I had to cut it all off and have short hair, and short hair wasn't beautiful. And that gets into, us having to admit that the images we see in the media affect, how we see ourselves and how we feel about, what beauty is. I think I was afraid to have short hair because the media portrays long hair as beautiful. We know that the media influences how we see ourselves, how we see beauty in general, and that affects how we feel about ourselves, Another reason was I kept thinking that I didn't have the right face for natural hair. Like, if I went natural and it just didn't look good, it was because of my face. I didn't have the right face shape. Everybody has the right face for the hair that grows out of their head. So I don't even know what I was thinking. Also, another reason I was kind of scared was because I was worried about what my family would think, my friends, how they would see me, or I kind of thought that I wouldn't be as pretty with natural hair. So those were the stupid things that were holding me back from going natural. Doing the big chop or transition chop sooner, I kept thinking about what other people were thinking, which really held me back. So if you can relate to this, understand that it's your hair. God created you the way that you are for a reason. It's not even about your hair, honestly. It's about you. You were confident Other people have no choice, because honestly, the only opinion that matters is yours. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching, and stay tuned for more. All right, peace.